Hello and good morning. On this episode of Fitness, Food, and Finance, I am going to give you my cheat code for the last, let's see, I'm 50. So I've been really concerned about my health and fitness, man, probably since I got out of college, or probably more likely when I had our first kid. So Olivia was born in 2002. So what does that give me? 2024? So 22 years of maybe really caring about my health and fitness. I did before. Played sports. I sort of ran track for Georgia Tech, and bad story there. But yeah, so it's been maybe, I'm going to say 20 years. And I'm going to take all that stuff, 20 years, what I've done, thought, and tried to put together and say, this is what I would do now. Knowing what I know, I hope to give you guys a cheat code. So up, down, left, right, ABB, whatever the cheat code is, that I think it would have been a better idea rather than, and I'm doing it now, so it's what I would do now. And I probably should have started it earlier, but this is the journey I'm on. You only know what you're doing when you know what you're doing. I should have probably listened to more people, but this is going to be what I would have done or what I would do now as a cheat code. So hopefully you can use it, especially, man, if you're about to be a dad or you are a dad right now, I think this will probably really resonate. I mean, it's fine if you're a female as well. The same things still apply, but that's my experience as being a dad. So I'm going to give you those thoughts. And then at the end, I'm going to go over some of the things we're doing at the gym, some stuff coming up. So first is the content, then is the calendar. So I probably would have guessed, yes, I would still do CrossFit, and I'm going to go into that. But if you were watching and you don't know who we are, or you're listening and you don't know who we are, this podcast came out of the idea of trying to deliver some information to people that would help them live a good life now, as well as when they're 90. And so to do that, you need to have fitness, food, and you need to have your finances in order. So that's kind of what we cover. And I am part of a group, the Survival Podcast. Actually, I should probably pull it up so you can see it. Yeah, there you go, right here. So the Survival Podcast with Jack Spirko. He's been doing podcasting since 2008. I'm on his expert council, so I do a little, like a 6-minute bit on health and fitness. And on Thursday, he'll choose from several of his expert councils and puts the questions on. So anyway, I get on there every once in a while. But it's been an interesting ride, like giving tidbits to his group, which is similar to our group. We're humans that want to live well, but our group of people typically is already going down the road of, I'm into this health and fitness. You don't need to sell me on it. Anyway, he's got a fall festival coming up in November, and I'm going to do a presentation for everybody, and it's the 5 pillars of health and fitness and longevity. And so what I'm going to do is tell you what I would do in these things right here: how to eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. And this is what the plan I would be on. And again, everybody's journey is different, but I think you're going to be able to take some things away and go, ooh, yeah, I should probably do that. Okay, let's see. Let's start with, I guess, well, I should have put this one at the end. We do have Garage Fitness Online now. So if you want to be part of that, it's basically following Brandon Phillips' programming, bringing a community together. We just launched it a couple weeks ago. Actually, not even a couple. It's two weeks ago. And we're still building it out. So we're launching a minimal viable product and building it as we go. Right now, we're doing a 60-day join, and you can do 60 days for free from whatever the time you sign up. That way you can help us like fix the things that are broken or show us the things that are broken. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say the first thing that I would do is change the way I eat. And I thought I was eating healthy, and I thought I was doing it right many times. And possibly right now, I'm thinking I'm doing it right as well. So I'm following this carnivore diet or the lion diet, and I'll go into that for a second. But the idea is you eat ruminant meat, or you eat more meats. In the carnivore diet, it's mostly meats. There's some fruits, maybe very few vegetables, but it's been an interesting ride, and it's been an interesting view into this side of the world that I didn't even know really. I mean, I guess I knew they existed, but I didn't really lift up the covers to look underneath what was really going on. And I am probably eating, maybe, I don't know, if I'm eating 10 pounds of meat, which I'm not, but if I'm eating 10 pounds of meat, my body is processing 90% of that. I really don't go to the bathroom that much. And it's not bad, like, oh, I'm not constipated. Every day I'm good. And I got the coffee, it helps me go as well. But I'm just saying, it's not the volume that I had before when I was eating a normal diet. And when I say normal, it was like super healthy. I would eat only vegetables and meat. I didn't drink. I got off of grains and sugar. So that's been a thing for me for a very long time. Anyway, I would go down this road of carnivore. I would go listen to Ken D. Berry MD on YouTube, and I would follow his advice. It's really, the crazy thing is it's not that difficult. You eat more meat, and that's pretty much it. But the things that I'm finding out about meat is something like, if they spray your spinach and it grows, insect-free, weed-free, all that stuff, and then you eat the spinach, you're eating the thing that got sprayed. Probably not good for you. They're now saying there's so many things bad with, all of the stuff they're putting on there, not just the glyphosate, Roundup or whatever, but everything else. Okay. Now, if you eat an animal that ate that, then at least they're processing it down a little bit. Yeah, it's true. Maybe it's storing it as fat, but it's not the direct descendant, I suppose. It's not the spray. It's a processed piece of the spray. Anyway, I feel way better daily. My weight has, I did drop a bunch of weight. Now I'm back up a little bit, so I'm probably hovering around like 158. I'm only 5 foot. Well, I've shrunk a little bit, so I'm probably 5'8" now. I used to be 5'8" and change, but I think it's just 5'8". And so I'm not a big dude. So 150, 160, somewhere in that range, 165 is probably the right weight for me. I have been doing CrossFit for a very long time, so I've got muscles, not a lot, but I'm very athletic. Anyway, it's a pretty good build. So eating this meat has been a good journey. The thing that you can't do is mix protocols. So you can't say, well, I'm going to do the carnivore diet or lion diet, and then also say, well, I'm going to do the sugar diet. It just doesn't work. You need to pick one way to eat. And one of my friends said it last night while we were doing board games. She said, well, I just think you're a weird type of person that can actually like do that sort of thing. Not many people can give up a thing. And I get it. I've given up a lot of foods or a lot of things that people consider to be food to go down this path. And I'm okay with it. Evan's on this journey as well. His particular one is the lion diet. So this is Michaela Peterson's attempt to get you out of all the histamine effects and all the GI disorders. So apparently your stomach digests and utilizes most all of the protein. Like I was just saying, only 10% really gets out of me. And so your large intestine really doesn't do that much work, which is good for people that have GI disorders because it's not doing all the work, right? And so it has a chance to heal. So, I mean, it's a weird thing. If you've got a problem inside your colon, like if I cut my arm, the last thing I would do is rub crap on it. But if you have a problem in your colon, I mean, you're rubbing crap on it all the time. So it's just a weird scenario where you've got something that could go septic so fast, but that's what it's supposed to do. So not a doctor, not claiming to be. I only have coffee. That's my go-to and what wakes my brain up. No, actually, I'm usually pretty good even without coffee. But I don't understand exactly why it all works, but it does. So I would go way more on the meats, and I would still have dropped off the sugar like I did a long time ago, and probably most grains. If it's not a bread that I made myself, I wouldn't eat it. So the Bread Beckers is a group just up the street here in Woodstock. They can help you make your own bread from grain. So they basically will go like shake the grain stock, get the grains off, put it in a bucket, and then you go home with the bucket. Then you would put it through your grinder, and then you'd put it through all the things and get it out there, make bread with it. We used to do it a lot. We don't do it so much anymore. If my wife makes bread, she will leave the butter out, make the bread, and the whole entire bread, heel and all, is gone within the day once the kids figure out that she had made it. Or I guess if the kids are home, most of them are at college right now. So I would do a whole lot more meat. That would be the hack that I would put on this thing is go with meat first and try to get off all the other stuff. I wish I had done this sooner. I've tried a couple things in the CrossFit world, the zone diet, the, what did they call the other one? I forgot. But then, counting macros and weighing and measuring. And really, I can eat as much protein as I possibly want. And I've normalized my weight at about 158, which is crazy. Now, again, I don't eat very many other things. We did add in some goat cheese, but I'm actually very satiated with it. Evan does struggle with some of the Me Too and Sugar Tooth, so he wants to go and eat with his friends. And even when I go out to eat with Verity or other people, I have to really watch out what I order because typically they put stuff on the meat, like they put a vegetable oil coating to, I don't know, make it glisten or whatever. And I asked them not to do it. They did it anyway. I was like, well, whatever. I'll eat the steak and see what happens. And my stomach hurt. So it was so weird that, like, when you get off of vegetables and all that stuff, they really taste different. And the oils taste different. The steak almost tasted sweet because of what they put on it. And I know they didn't put sugar. Well, I mean, shoot. I guess they could have put sugar on it, but it wasn't sweet like that. It was just a hint of sweetness. Anyway, so my journey, I would tell you guys, go down the road of eating more meat. I know I'm almost convinced that when they say a thing, it's actually just bullcrap. So they seem to be wrong a lot, or at least they change their mind. Like now they're saying, oh no, eat as much salt as you possibly can eat. So I'm like, as a kid, they were like, don't ever eat salt again. I guess they put salt in too many things. I don't know. It's so weird and strange. I just don't like their mandates of, you must do this, you must not do that. Now, you know, like, anyway, there's a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so the next thing, I eat a lot of eggs. If you can see the picture, great. If not, I'm gonna try to describe it to you. So you got 2 eggs, 2 yolks, and the one on the left is very deep orange, and the one on the right is a more of a yellow, kind of like a Post-it note kind of color. And I will tell you this: we raise our own chickens. I was searching out how to eat healthier, and then came down to the idea that I should probably raise my own chickens so I can get my own eggs, because then I know what's in them. And I was eating 2 or 3 raw eggs a day, so I was very interested in what eggs, like what I was eating on eggs. I would put them in my smoothie. So now I'm eating 4 eggs a day, and but I do them over easy so I can mix them with beef, and I eat that for breakfast basically. Anyway, the one on the left, I can tell you already because I know that chicken has been out in the wild eating crickets and other like natural stuff. That's what my eggs look like. It's a very deep orange. The one on the right, it's probably been eating chicken feed the whole time, or whatever passes as chicken feed, and the color is off. And it looks normal if that's what you're used to, but that's not normal. If you let a chicken do its thing, it's going to look way more orange like the one on the left. So they're able to, and I'm still okay with eating it. I would still eat it. Actually, I am eating them. I have eggs like this right now because my chickens aren't laying for some reason. Or if they are laying, then a raccoon's coming and stealing all the eggs. I don't know. I just am not getting any eggs. So I've had to buy, so yes, I'm raising chickens and buying eggs. That's really dumb. I need to find a local person to buy eggs from because I'm buying from the store. And I'm going to go into that for a second, what you should look for and what you shouldn't look for in the eggs. But the eggs that I raise are deeper orange, and they taste a little bit different. All right. So when you go to look for eggs, on the packaging, the first one is if you don't care, just pick whatever you want, get the cheapest one and go. I think cheaper eggs are better than no eggs at all. So if you get the styrofoam one that are white, or I guess maybe they're a yellowy color, those eggs are probably the worst, but it's still an egg. It's probably going to be better for you than anything that is wrapped up. So this right here, the picture that you're looking at, or I'll describe, are chickens that are laying eggs like normal. So they've got a cage per chicken. They basically can stick their head out and eat or drink. And when they lay an egg, it rolls down this little beltway and goes to wherever, I guess, all the eggs go. Anyway, one thing about eggs is interesting. A lot of people don't know. These chickens are all white. And so you think, oh, they're going to lay all white eggs. It actually has nothing to do with the total feathering color of the chicken. It's the ear feathers. So whatever the feathers are around their ears is the color of the egg they're going to lay. So in the next picture here, you got brown chickens laying brown eggs, and you think a lot of people are like, oh, if they're brown eggs, they're organic or healthy or whatever. Nah, they're doing the same damn thing. It's chickens that are in a cage, and they drop an egg, and it rolls down this little conveyor belt system. And it's the same thing. This is probably the worst way to get your eggs, but eggs are better than no eggs, okay? Then you've got, this is an interesting one. It's called caged free. So they're in the same environment, and they're cage free. That means they can hop down, but they're in a warehouse, and they're just packed tight together. So yes, it's true, they can move around, so that is good, but it's like being in prison, and the prison doors are open. So they're still in prison. They're not getting any real natural light. They're not eating any natural food or whatever. Then you've got, this is pasture raised. So what they're in right here, they call it a chicken tractor. It's basically a coop, but it's meant to be very lightweight and moved around. So what'll happen for this one is probably the farmer or the chicken raiser, what do you call it, chicken raiser? The poultryist? I don't know. He would hook a tractor up to one side of it, the long side of it, and then pull it the distance of the tractor itself. So if the tractor is 20 feet long, he would pull it like 22 feet. And then the chicken would be able to eat in that area. And so this is not necessarily free range. They can go anywhere, but this is pasture raised. Then you've got, ooh, can I get to the next one? Maybe? Yeah, there we go. So this is a picture of, well, it's kind of a combo picture. So they've got this coop is actually still tractored. You can move it, but the doors are open, so the chickens can actually go anywhere they want. So not only are they on pasture, so they're out on the pasture in the field eating whatever, the crickets, the insects and whatnots, they're also free range. They can go wherever they want. This is what my chickens are like. They can go wherever they want anytime. The problem is the hawks and the coyotes know it. So we have Ollie to take care of like coyotes. We haven't seen a coyote since we've had them, so it's been almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But we see the hawks all the time, and there's really nothing I can do to stop the hawks besides leave Ollie out there all day long. And so he's a Great Pyrenees, and they said he's gonna bond with whatever you put him with. And he was just so cute and cuddly. We left him in the house, and he bonded with us. And so he does not like to be away from me. As a matter of fact, when I go to bed, he comes in and lays down right next to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna protect you all through night." Of course, around 2 a.m, he's like, "I'm done protecting you. Will you let me outside so I can protect the outside?" But yeah, then he stays outside for 4 or 5 hours, which is great. So I guess doing that, he's dropping hair, and the coyotes know the smell, and so they're staying away. Hawks, they don't care. Anyway, you got a picture above of chickens roaming out of the coop, the tractored coop, the one you can pull, and then the chicken picture below is chickens that are cage free, which just means they're not in a cage, but they're still jam-packed. All right. The next thing I would do is drink way more water. Yeah, I know, as I say that, I'm drinking coffee, but coffee's mostly water and some, crushed beans. But I would drink way more water. I would get off of all the sodas. I would get off of all the things that you're currently, that takes your time and attention. Think about it like this. If you're not a smoker, this will make sense. If you're a smoker, it won't make any sense. Or if you're a dipper or whatever. If you buy cigarettes, then you are literally burning your money, right? You're basically going for a chemical high or a chemical satiation that literally does nothing for your body except actually maybe kill you little bit by little bit, right? So what do they used to call them? Cancer sticks, I think, which, do they give you lung cancer directly? I would think so, but I know people who've smoked like forever and they died like at a very old age smoking. So I don't know. But I would say stop spending your money on things like that. It's like drinks. If you're buying a drink to just satiate the sugar in your mouth, then that's the wrong thing. Get rid of that sugary satiation. So water does the trick. It hydrates you. That's what you're supposed to do. Coffee, I suppose, is trying to wake you up. I sort of like the ritual of it, and I make it myself. So I don't buy it, but I probably should get rid of that too. It doesn't necessarily serve the purpose. The caffeine doesn't have the same effect on me as it does most people. So I should probably get rid of that too. But water, drink way more water. How much water? I mean, it is possible to drink so much water that you hypohydrate, and now you're going to, or hyper is less, hypo is too much. You hypohydrate and you've got too much water in you and you could die. It's weird. Probably isn't going to happen to most of us, but it is possible. So I'd also mix in some electrolytes and some salts and things like that to help it normalize in your body. But I would drink way more water. I think if I had to give anybody one easy tip, it would just be drink water before you eat any meal. Anybody should be doing this, right? Okay, so the next one is salt. They now say, hey, you should eat salt. And I've been doing this on the Lion Diet. I like regular salt. So we have the Redmond's real salt. And then I like the crunchier flake salt. This is a picture of flaked salt. There's very, different types. Apparently one of them, the one I was using, the way they get it out, they dynamite it out, and that leaves traces of lead on the salt. So I'm like, okay, great. The one I just happened to pick has trace lead. Thank you. So now I'm going to flip over. I use Redmond's ground up salt anyway, so now I'm just going to get the Redmond's flakes. But it's weird. The crunchiness on the steak really does something a little bit different. I would recommend you guys try it. Now, I don't know how to put some of these things like the medical community is going to tell you don't eat meat, you'll die. I've seen video of people who've been doing an all meat diet for 14 years. They're not dead. Are they a one-off? Possibly. This is starting week 9 and I feel really dang good. So I don't know. I am going to go get my blood work done. Let's see. I wanted to go 3 months. So that would probably put me like November. No, maybe the end of October. Yeah, it'd probably be the end of October. Go get some blood work done. I am a data point of 1. Should you do what I'm saying? Man, it's up to you. These are the things that I would do, and I wish I would have told myself earlier. Anyway, so part of it is look at salt. How much salt? Here's the weird part. it doesn't seem like I have my left calf is feeling a little crampy, and I'm using that as my indicator. If I can get more salt into my day to fix that, then that's probably the right amount. And I haven't gotten there yet, and I've been slow and steady in the adding. So I haven't found it too much yet. We'll see. Next thing on the so basically you got to eat and you got to move, right? The thing on the movement, man, CrossFit is the biggest hack since the hacks were created. This is beautiful. You get to squat below parallel. You get to lift something heavy. You get a coach telling you what to do. You have people to motivate you. You have like-minded people that want you to be there. You're building community. CrossFit blurs the lines of all the things except for maybe sleep. Actually, I guess if you worked out, you'll get tired. And is one of the most Venn diagram overlappy thing I've ever seen. I would go find yourself a CrossFit gym and I would join it. Of course, if you're here in Woodstock, join CrossFit Garage. I don't even care if you join our gym. Join a gym. If you look at the map on the U.S. that I'm showing from CrossFit's main site, let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, they used to give you big numbers. Now they're not giving you the big numbers. They used to say, like, in the U.S., there was, like, 5,000. Yeah, can I zoom all the way out? I can only go so far. So it's showing something like maybe 3,000 in the USA, and then I would dive back in. I love that you can zoom in and out on our own world. That's so fascinating. Thank you, technology. Yeah, so you just go to CrossFit.com, click on their map or find a gym, and you're just going to see a ton of gyms pop up. Like right here in Atlanta, there's 100. Oh, I passed it. There's 116 gyms that they would consider Atlanta. I'm probably considered Atlanta, which I am like 40 minutes outside of Atlanta, so I don't know if I would consider myself Atlanta, but it's so. And as I drive into, let's go inside the Atlanta's Beltway, the 285 perimeter. I'll just see how many gyms are in that section. You just have so many choices. I mean, this is crazy. If you could, well, those that are watching can see it. There's gyms all over the place in Georgia. There are some very empty zones, but also not many people live there. So, I mean, it's hard to make a business where nobody lives. Let's see. So I've got it drilled in, and it's showing me 30 gyms inside 285. Dang, right? And that is a lot. And then, oh yeah, you keep drilling in, they keep popping up. But, yeah, there's just so many gyms. You could find anything. It's a great hack. It's going to deliver so many health benefits in addition to the one it promises of moving. So I would definitely get involved with that. Does it have to be a CrossFit gym? I mean, here's the thing. I don't taste test many other products because I have this. I know like F45 has a method, and I know Orange Theory has its own method. I just think it's too routine, but any movement is better than no movement. So does it have to be CrossFit? I'd go with a no. It doesn't have to be. It's just CrossFit Venn diagrams overlaps all the things that you really need, and it teaches you new things, so you're not bored, which is a big problem for me, to get bored into working out. So of course I'm going to recommend CrossFit. Okay, let me move on from that one. So outside of CrossFit, the things that I would really focus on doing is squat below parallel. So here's a video. I didn't realize it was a video. I thought it was a picture. But this guy's got pretty good form. His hip crease is below the top of the knee. His back is in a good position. He's looking straight forward. And his arms are up. I love that. Why squat? If you ever go to an old folks home, you're going to notice their toilets are higher. Why? Because people lose the ability to squat. So if you're losing the ability, then fight to keep the dang ability. It's that easy. Feebleness is chasing you down. Don't let it win. Weirdly, if you want to be able to squat when you're older, squat now. It's not that difficult, except it's so weird. People come in and they're like, I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to full range of motion. Son of a bitch, you showed up. Yes. Now do it. Do it right. Just do what you're supposed to do. You're here. That's rule number one. But seriously, teach yourself to squat. Use a rig or a door jam and do that squat therapy and get yourself into a better form. Don't lose the ability. Don't be 50 and think, oh, dang, I can't do the things I do. I already am noticing my peers doing the old person shuffle. Like, they get out of a car and it's difficult for them. They move around up steps or whatever, and it's not easy for them. I am a spry little jackrabbit, man. I will fly up those steps, and it's not a big deal. The fact that it is a big deal, man, that's concerning. And you're my peers. You guys are 50 with me, and it sucks to see that this shit isn't easy. It should be easy. We shouldn't lose the ability to squat. So, squat every day. That's huge. I mean, maybe at least 3 times a week. Don't lose it. Here's another lady squatting. Her back's a little rounded out. That's okay. She's squatting. She's way below what I would want her to be. But I like that. I would rather take this than nothing. And deeper is always better. Oh, that sounded weird. But on the squat, you can't go wrong as long as you're not like deforming yourself tremendously. The next one is I would lift something heavy. So this guy right here is either in a front squat or he's about to do a thruster. But he's moving an external load and having muscle and being able to strengthen your bone through the sheer force of moving and the pressures is great. We know bone density becomes a problem. We know strength becomes a problem. So lift something heavy. If I could only do one movement at the gym, there was like, you can only come in, you can only do one thing, one lift, what would you pick? So I would probably pick the snatch because it's the most athletic, uses the most body parts. I can't lift it nearly as heavy, but it's going to involve a squat and it has my arms sort of engaged in a locked out position. So typically when you're lifting, it's like back squat, it's just my legs. Deadlift, has legs and back, right? I mean, I guess my back is as well in the back squat, but no arms, right? Bench press, which is like all arms. Military press, strict press, all arms. So usually segments it. So when you do an Olympic lift, clean and jerk, or snatch, it's going to use your entire body. And if you look at the diagram of muscles firing for a snatch, it's like everything. Now, you do have to, well, I would want you to be coached in it because it's in the Olympics. It's a difficult movement. So get coached in it first. But I would pick the snatch if I had to pick any one movement. If you were going to limit me like Andy, actually, this would be an interesting experiment. I should do a whole podcast on this. If you were going to say you can only do one thing for the rest of your life, you can't work out in any other way. There's just one way you can work out. You can only do the one thing. I would pick jogging, and I hate to say it, but your body was made to do that, and you could go faster, you could go slower, you could put a backpack on, you could go up a hill, you could go downhill, you could use steps. So I'd probably go with jogging if I could only do one thing the rest of my life. If I could do 2 things, I would have jogging, and then I would put something that had load bearing and me below parallel, so probably a thruster. So I would be left with doing thrusters and running for the rest of my life. I think that would still serve me very well. I'd be very bored. I probably could mix it up in many ways, but I would probably want some more variance. But those would be the 2 things, thrusters and jogging. Yeah, what would I put next? That'd be interesting. If I could only have 1 day of programming and I had to repeat it, and then if I could have 2, 3, 4, 5 and keep going up, like what would my month look like on a repeating basis? So if I had to do the same things every month, could I come up with the perfect scenario? Now, I do believe that I would probably get tired, or I guess I'd have to allow myself to mix it up. I have to figure out the rules of that. Does it have to be the exact same workout, or could I adjust the time domains and the weights and all that to make, like, let's say it was a month of programming, and on day 15, it was, I don't know, I would never program ring dips, but let's say it's ring dips and burpees. So could I make it, like, does it have to be just ring dips and burpees, and how can I mix them together? So that'd be interesting. I'll come up with a podcast on what I would do within these rule sets. I think that'd be interesting. All right. The other one I would put in there is a burpee. People lose the ability to get up and down off the floor. They trip and they fall, and they break a hip. So I would continue to do burpees. I know most of you hate them, but I would do it. I would also maybe introduce, and I hate these, the Turkish get up. Some way to get off the floor. I would choose burpee, but Turkish get up does get you off the floor, and it lets you move an external load. So, and it helps. It's a very slow, methodical movement on your shoulder, which is the weirdest joint we have in our body. So I'd probably be into that one as well. Okay, so off of working out, this is going to go more into the connect and think. So I'm just going to mix the 2 buckets together. This is an old video. How old is this? It's 11 years old. So this came out almost when YouTube, no, 11 years, 2008. No, it wasn't. It's not as old as YouTube, but it's pretty old. So go look up this video. It's called It's Not About the Nail, done by a guy named Jason Headley. I don't know who that is. And I'm not subscribed, but I love this video. This video has 26 million views. Okay, men, this is for you. Women, this is not necessarily for you, but you're probably going to agree. Stop solving stuff. It took me 50 years to figure this crap out. Stop solving. Just listen and come up with a way to repeat. Now, the things that I have, whoa, camera fell. The things that I have learned is to say some variation of, oh, that bitch is crazy, or that bitch is just jealous of you. Some variation of that. So you could make it, if you're talking to your wife, you could say something like, that woman you're speaking of, I don't think she's in her full mental capacity. that bitch is crazy, right? It has taken me so much further. I wish I had known this. I know I've got some, I don't know, I wouldn't say emotional baggage. I would say emotional voids. I just don't feel the same things that I think other people feel. And so I don't know if I got this for very long. So interacting with you guys in the last 17 years has been a huge education for me and how to be a better human. I think Shane Stewart said it best. Andy, you suck at being human. And I think I'm getting better. But this video right here, the guy is trying to tell his wife that she has a nail in her head. And she's like, something's wrong. I've got this piercing pain in my skull. And every time I put on a sweater, it gets snagged. I mean, it's hilarious. You have to watch it. I'm sure it's condescending, but whatever. It's still damn funny. So he's trying to solve the problem. And she doesn't want him to. She just wants him to listen. And man, it's true. I'm trying hard to listen to Evie's stories and feel and just hear rather than solve. Many of the times, I mean, afterwards when I don't say anything, she's like, yeah, the solution is I should probably just study more or whatever. I'm like, that sounds wise. So I would go down this road of not solving their problems. I wish I would have done that. I would have used the other two statements. The woman you speak of is crazy, or the person you're talking about is probably jealous of you. And just roll with it. I don't even know exactly what that means all the time, but it really seems to work. So the other thing I would do, and I need to get back to doing this, is it's a plan I have. I just haven't put it into practice yet. Let me pause this and get some coffee. I would overlap my areas better. So I've got some friends that I do adventure racing with. I have friends like you guys that I'm doing CrossFit with. I have some friends that I play D&D with or board games with. I have friends that, we go shooting together, right? So I've got different groups of friends at church, different groups, and they don't overlap too much. I could do a better job, and I'm trying to do this, do a better job of overlapping those things. So maybe 4 years ago, let's say it would have been COVID. So it was after COVID. So maybe 2021, so 3 years ago, I put out an email saying, hey, if anybody's interested in learning to play D&D, let's get together from the gym. So I had like a bunch of people, like 15 of us got together for like 4 or 5 different sessions. And then 5 of us ended up playing for the last 2 or 3 years. So it's been a lot of fun. Woodstock, so this is a way you can overlap. So there is a person, I don't know who it is, that's organizing this. There was a name somewhere. I don't see it. But there's somebody organizing a board game night. It's the first Saturday, 4 p.m. of every month. I can't be there this Saturday, but it's one that I would go to. They're teaching you how to play D&D, which is awesome. Go there and learn. So I think it's $8. You show up and you spend a couple hours doing a thing. Usually it's just board games, but this coming up one, it's D&D. This is something I'm going to, actually, it should be in this email that I put out with this podcast, a link to this for us to start signing up and going. I was going to do it at my house, but I thought, I don't know, it's kind of tough to do it at your house if that many people show up, or if only 2 of you show up, then it's kind of hard to play some games. So this gives you the opportunity to play games with somebody else who's already organizing it. Yeah, it does cost you some money, but whatever. Support local, right? Somebody's doing a thing, trying to earn some cash. I like what they're doing. Again, overlap those Venn diagrams. I like doing this, so do some people in the gym, and we're in the gym together, so why don't we overlap those? I should have spent more time finding those early on. So this is the advice I would give you is write down the things you like and see if you can even force the connection. I'm sure, like, man, there is. There is exactly one person that I know of that does the things that I do, except we live too far apart. So I met a guy, Eddie Lent. We do the adventure racing together. He is also an engineer. He also is into CrossFit. He doesn't go to a CrossFit gym. He does things on his own because he lives in a place where there isn't one very close. He does the adventure racing, like I said. He plays D&D. He's into the nerdy stuff that I'm into. He also, there was another one that now I'm forgetting. Oh, he is a believer, right? So we have all these things that overlap, but we only get to really hang out when we do races. Now, when we hang out at races, it's like, 12 hours in a race, and then the 40 or 24 hours beforehand of building up to the race, like, driving in the car together and getting there and all that. So it's a lot of fun to connect, and I really enjoy his company. I should work harder to bring more of that together. I know for a fact, like the guy who runs, actually, this is what I should do. I love this. I'm getting ideas right now. So Jeff, I think it's the next slide, of Warrior Adventure Racing. It's not the next slide, but I'll make it the next slide. His home turf is just north of us. I think it's like in Holly Springs or just south or north of it. It's right around that area. Anyway, this is the guy who puts on all the adventure races. I should be doing a thing for him and his people somehow and overlapping these Venn diagrams. Yeah, I'm going to pause you guys and make a note because I'm going to make that happen. Okay, the note is super basic. It just says, Jeff, Warrior Adventure Racing, overlapping Venn diagram. I know what it means. But this is a way to bring people together that you already should know and like, right? So I'm not against, like, I don't know. I lean very conservative into many of the things just because I'm an old guy who wants the world to continue. I don't know. And I'm okay with hanging out with people who do not feel that way. Sometimes they're not okay hanging out with me because I just have a hard time, like, not offending them on accident. So it doesn't always work. I'm not against it. It just, right? But I don't know if that would be like the biggest friendships out there. Typically, your biggest friends are people who are similar-ish to you. Now, I'm not saying you can find an echo chamber, but I am saying it's easier to be friends with people that overlap the circles, the Venn diagram. Actually, I'm saying that, and some of you are like, what the hell is a Venn diagram? Let me pull that up real quick. There you go. I got a picture of it. I really don't like the fact that every time I pull up a picture, it's like tiny. I wish they would get bigger, whatever. Anyway, so you've got, oh, geez, I picked like the dumbest one ever. I don't even know. It's not even English. All right, let me, let me find something that's got better English. All right, here we go. This one is mammals and animals that live in water, right? So you have a circle, mammals, and then you have another circle, animals that live in water. As you push them together, you get a whale, right? Or a dolphin. It's a mammal that lives in water. So then on just water, it could be a shark, and on just mammal, it could be a dog, right? So anyway, that's overlapping Venn diagram. It's when you push the pieces together, what overlapped. I think if you could figure out your entire life, like your 5 love languages, whatever, and push them together and find the thing, that would be panacea. That would be awesome, but I don't know. It's hard to create that. Anyway, so Warrior Adventure Racing, I would tell you guys all do something hard. So in this journey of life can be hard, but if the hardest thing you do all day is the things you do all day, then you're probably in trouble. So come up with something a little bit harder. Spartan race could be it. Any of the tough mudder thingies, the obstacles, whatever. Adventure racing is definitely part of it. You're in the woods and you're following a map and a compass and you're exerting yourself. So it's got physical exertion. There's mental exertion. It does tax you emotionally unless you're on a good team that can really help you ride that out. But do something hard. This guy is literally in our back door. There's like, let me pull up his race list. There, the Bear, we just did it, is here in Georgia. Blue Ridge Adventure Race is in Georgia. The Cauldron is not. Chattanooga isn't. I mean, it's Chattanooga, which is kind of like if you live where we live in Woodstock. That's basically Georgia, right? So that's 3. There's an Alaska one, Colorado. Hogback is in Tennessee again. So it's like Chattanooga. It's the Camp Ocoee, the place we do our Labor Day and Family Day weekends. But they use Hogback Mountain up there. And then Omar is Birmingham, which is basically Georgia again. So that's like what I'm up to 6. There's a Resolution, which is Florida, C2C, which is Florida, and Turkey Burn, which is Florida. So he's all over the place, but the majority of his stuff is here in Georgia. Do a race. All you definitely need a bike of some sort. It does not have to be awesome, but you definitely need a mountain bike of some sort. Then you need a camel pack, something with 2 liters of water so you can hydrate yourself. After that, it doesn't really matter what you do. It is true. If you want to win, you can pay more money for gear and you can probably do better because stuff is lighter. It's just for fun. Go out and have a good time. You don't have to win. But this is something that I would urge you guys to do. Either go walk in the woods by yourself, like have that mental experience for a think, or go in the woods with friends in a complicated endeavor and push yourself to do something mighty, something adventurous. I would say every year, have a thing that you're shooting for. Is it a family trip? Is it your trip? Is it a spouse trip? I don't know, but put it out there and be like, this is what we're going to do. Are you excited to do this? I am. And then all the stuff you're doing to work towards it, saving money, building up time, raising kids, whatever, there's a prize a reward at the end of it. And I think that's awesome. So pick something. I don't think it has to be money related. It could simply be, we're going to go hike some of the Appalachian Trail here in Georgia. Beautiful. Set something big up. If you don't have big milestones in your life, then create them. A good milestone is like, there's like 10 people in the gym that are pregnant, or the wives, whatever. You know what I mean? Having babies, that's a huge milestone. Getting married, huge milestone. But hopefully you don't get married a bunch of times, and hopefully you only have a certain number of kids, right? So maybe you're having, I don't know, I think maybe 7 is the most I ever hear about now. Maybe 6, maybe 4. But it's not that often, right? And there are birthdays, but birthdays are kind of mundane because, I don't know, there's so many and everybody has them. Do something that's for you, that's momentous. I like Nick Lubbers, paired up with, oh man, I'm going to forget your name, buddy. If you're listening, I doubt you'd listen. But if you are, he's a pastor, and his name is, I can't think of it. His kids played soccer with my kids. Oh man, tomorrow morning at 1 a.m., I'm going to think of the name, and it won't help. But I got your face in my head. Anyway, he paired up with people that he didn't even know because we posted a thing saying, hey, these guys are going to go to Colorado and do rim to rim. Who would want to go? And Nick and his buddy jumped in, and he's with all these pastors, and they're going like up and down the canyon and rim to rim. I mean, it's awesome. He's programming hard things into his life because he can. It's hard. He's looking forward to it. I love his motto. I just want to be harder to kill. I've stolen that for sure. Man, I cannot think of your name. I've got you in my head. I got your entire family picture in my head, but I cannot. Well, anyway, come up with an adventure that you're excited for, but is also a little scary. Not like death scary, but like, I'm going to go do a race for 24 hours in the woods. I'm a little nervous. That's awesome. It could be, I mean, I could say go on a cruise, but I don't know. I don't think that's as, I think it needs to be, I think actually in Chasing Excellence podcast with Ben Bergeron and Patrick Cummings, they talked about this too. And they had a name for it. I cannot think of it. I'm going to say usquai, but I think that's like a mushroom you smoke or something. But it's a trip or a journey. Like it's when you become a man. Have a thing. Oh man, there's this, actually, I got to pull this up and show you guys. This thing is pretty cool. Hold on. Okay, so I'm not sure how I found it or how it came up, but I found this guy, Matt Ryder Adventures. So it's MATRYDER Adventures, and he's on YouTube. And the guy did a bike trip. It's a named trip, like many people do it. I just can't. It's you start in Canada and you race south because south is downhill, and to to the border of Mexico, and man, what is it called? The BMR, the GDMBR, the Great Divide Mountain Bike Race. That's it. And he's got a whole series on that. I encourage you to watch it. This guy is doing interesting things and showing us what he's doing. Right now, he's riding across the U.S. So he's going from like the Washington state to Georgia. I don't think that's his exact path, but that's what he's doing. Fantastic to watch his journey. Very inspiring. Maybe this is a bit much because it's going to take him like 3 months or something, or maybe 2 months. But that's it. That's exactly what you should find. A thing, an adventure, something out there to look forward to challenge yourself, to push yourself. Because if you're not going to challenge yourself, one, you should probably do this with somebody. You need somebody in the connect bucket that'll do this adventure with you. Eddie's a great one. I love it. Thank you, Eddie. You need somebody in the think category that can spur your mind. Thank you, Verity. We have got great intellectual conversations, right? Then you need to be healthy and fit enough to do the thing. So this is kind of that motivation to push you to do the hard, stupid shit every day. Yes, I work out nearly every day. Yes, I eat good every day. I don't have cheat days. I think cheat days are the dumbest thing in the world because it's not cheating. Cheating gets you ahead. A meal cheat day puts you way behind. It's not the right word. It should be sabotage day. It's the day I choose to sabotage myself. Who the hell would do that? It's just the dumbest thing. Stop sabotaging yourselves. Anyway, pick an adventure, something far out, maybe a year or two, that you can build up to. And I'll spitballing this for Matt Ryder. He says, I'm going to bike across the USA. I should probably learn to bike first. I should probably do something smaller first. Like maybe I should bike south across the USA because that's shorter. So he does these things in steps, and they build up and they can become grandier. Does it have to be grandier? It doesn't have to be, but it can become like a long time ago. Oh man, I wonder if it's still up there. We had a a page, a Facebook group page dedicated to hiking the Appalachian Trail, or maybe just the Georgia section. I don't know. But there was about 15 of us from the gym that hiked the Georgia Appalachian Trail. And the goal was hike it fast. I don't know why. I think it's we had a weekend, get up there on Friday, do Saturday and Sunday, and get back home. I don't know why we were trying to hike it fast, but that was the goal, is to hike it fast. 15 of us started. I think 2 of us or 3 of us finished, and one of them was a dog. Well, actually, no, it had been 3 humans and a dog finished it. It was interesting. It was challenging. I wish I had gone a little slower, and I wish I had stuck with the group and had group dynamics rather than solo adventure. But I was too caught up in, let's get this thing done. Anyway, find an adventure, put something out there. If you don't know what your adventure is, talk to, well, actually, here's a great adventure. Let's see, Aaron, Tom, Craig, and like 3 other guys. I can't think of everybody's name. They have done this thing where they go out west and they like ride on horse from this town to that town, fishing and shooting food or whatever along the way. Probably not shooting food. That's like harder to get licenses for that, but probably fishing. Huge, badass adventure with people. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Find adventure. Yes, you do need to make money, but if you don't have a point for the money, I don't know. It gets tedious. So yes, make a lot of money, but have the adventure. Spend the money. That's what it's there for. Come up with things. I have probably normalized my adventure races too much. I probably need to pick a thing. I'm going to write that down. Pick my next adventure, and I'm going to post it to all of y'all. All right, I'm going to go for a next adventure with people because I'm going to overlap my diagram. So I'm going to hit all of my people. This is good. This is cathartic. This is, maybe not, this is, I don't know if that's the right word. It helps me do the things that I know I should be doing, like talking to Jeff about Warrior Adventure Racing, like finding you guys to do some epic stuff. Okay. What's next on this list of things we should be doing? I got the Facebook post. Oh, that's play your game. So I like games, and it's a great way to get people together. I think the other thing that I would do, I already did the Warrior Adventure Racing, is I would find like a group. This is Jubilee Church, and it's where a bunch of our members already go. So I don't church very well. Open up here. I don't do music very well. I could care less mostly about most music. And a problem I've got with church music is my logic brain takes over, and I'm like, yes, I know what you said rhymes, but it's biblically incorrect. So I can't make my brain stop doing it. So instead of enjoying the singing, I critique the biblicology, whatever, theology of the song, which is dumb. I know. I just can't make my brain stop doing it. So I don't enjoy the singing portion of churches too much. I do enjoy the sermon. I want to hear what they have to hear. It's a different experience. I really like listening to different speakers. I went to this church a couple times. I'm going to keep trying to go. I just need to get back in the habit. Summer threw me off with Evan's ordeal and just having everybody home. So I need to be back. I'm going to write that down on my list as well. Jubilee. I'm going to go back to being there on Sunday. Anyway, I really enjoy listening to the various speakers. I had Craig and Aaron spoke when I was there one time, and it was fun to hear their life and their perspective on these things outside of the normal confines of where we know each other at. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, so I would do stuff like that. The next one I would do is eat with your family, but more than that, invite people over. And I have really sucked it on this one. I think I put too much emphasis on helping the kids assimilate better. I could, and you guys probably see this with your own kids. You can see your own successes and flaws in your children, and you want to help elevate the successes, but you also want to mitigate or bridge the gap in the failures. So I can see it in my kids, and I want to help them. And so I probably pushed too much and forgot about myself. And so I fell into the trap of, hey, not many date nights with my wife. I take your wife on date nights. It doesn't have to be weekly. It could just be go for a walk and hold hands. You need to do something. So now for me on Sunday, one of my to-do items is plan date night. So do I do it every time? No, but I do ask, like, hey, do you have something you want, like, do you have an open night or daytime or whatever you want to do a thing? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no, but I'm trying, and I'm just not great at it. So I've systematized the things I'm not good at. So technology allows me to bridge the gap between the places I'm sucky at and the places I want to be better at. For example, again, 10 people in the gym that are pregnant. I want to ask them all the time how they're doing, but out of sight, out of mind. My brain, my empathy portion of my body does not work that way, but I want it to. So what I do is I use technology to remind myself, hey, they're having a baby in November. Make sure you check in on November 1st to see how they're doing. Perfect. Is it wrong? No, I want to. I just know I'm going to forget. I don't operate well without, like, I'm a Post-it guy. I have Post-its all over the place and on my computer to remind me the things that I should be doing, but I also use technology. I put it in the Google Calendar and help me remember. Anyway, having dinner with friends and family is a great thing to do. I'm going to write that down right now. I have no reasonable excuse why I'm not doing this, the thing that I enjoy, on a routine basis. I don't know. I do know in my head what I'm nervous of. Oh, you invite people over and all of a sudden they're like, hey, carry the load of this conversation. You're like, and that's never the way it happens. I think somebody said it was called party anxiety or host anxiety or something like that. Weirdly, I do have a lot of that, and I didn't ever notice it until, it was a recent thing, recent. It was maybe 10 years ago that I realized, holy crap, I have host anxiety. There's a name for it. I love the fact that there's a name for everything, but once you know a thing, you can decide to lean into it and get rid of it or cower beneath it. So I chose to get rid of it. Okay, so invite people over, have community, have conversation. Don't shut any conversation down. Let it all flow. All right, so the next one I would tell you is, oh yeah, right. So listen to podcasts. According to Spotify, the most listened to podcast of all time is the Joe Rogan Experience. I enjoy it. It's a 3-hour podcast. I listen on ×2 speed, and I listen while I do chores. I also only listen to certain ones. I don't listen to the MMA ones. It doesn't really move the needle for me. But there are other ones on here that I have not heard of. The Sean Ryan Show. Never heard of that guy. Candace. I guess that's Candace Owen. And Tucker Carlson. I do listen to him now, so that's fascinating. That he's. I didn't know he was on big time on the list. Talk Tua with Tua with Haley Welch. I don't know what that is. It's better? Talk Tua? Oh my gosh. Is that girl that did the too? I wonder if that's who that is. I'm going to have to pause you guys and look this up. All right, it is. So I don't That's hilarious. So she's using a one-liner. Who knows if she was drunk, she was making pretend, she was having fun, whatever. She's using her one-liner to create, she's number 5 in the podcast ratings. Is this podcast charts? Yeah, this is the podcast chart. So this is like, I think, yeah, Joe Rogan is like the biggest podcast around. So damn, this girl has got, wait, you can move them? I don't know. Maybe this is not an actual chart. Rotten Mango, Criminal Attorney, Crime Junkie, Bad Friend, This Past Week with Theo Vaughn. Oh, I think I've listened to him for a little bit. The LOL podcast, Huberman Lab, Chains FR, I don't know what that is. The Megyn Kelly Show, Daily Show, The Coolest Podcast, Sidebar, Kill Tony, which my kid's been talking about that. I guess that's more like a fun, laughy thing. But anyway, there is a literal podcast for everything. Let's see if I can figure out how to search on this. New releases, top podcast. That is a top podcast. Top episodes. Oh, I'm actually fascinated now. Top episode. The number 1 episode, according to Spotify, is Joe Rogan with Sean Ryan. Now, I guess it would make sense that Joe Rogan would have like several top podcasts. He's got the number 1, 3, and 4. And yeah, I'd be interested to see what some of the other ones are. All right. I don't know how to search on this. Spotify, will you let me search? Oh, and this is in the US as well, so it's not like everything. Let me try this. Let me go Spotify. And then I'm going to put in there, I'm just going to put in something crazy. What would be a good crazy one? How about I'm going to put in CrossFit Adventure Race. It's a combo. I want CrossFit and adventure racing. Let's see. Albums, playlists. No, I need podcasts. Playlists, books, podcasts and shows. There we go. Okay, so it, of course, comes up with the CrossFit Games. That would be, pretty close because there's an adventure race. They did do sort of an adventure race in there. So then, oh, that's hilarious. There's one called CrossFit champion Rich Phoning, and he's got 3 Fs. His are faith, family, and fitness. Mine are fitness, food, and finances, but I mean, his are kind of better. You should have those as well. I guess I should put a family component in there. The 4 Fs, I like that. So there isn't one that I'm seeing right now that is definitely CrossFit and adventure racing, but it's pretty dang close. So what about if I put in let's see, what if somebody is into ceramic pots? I think that's the way you spell it. Can I use paint on my ceramics? Right there. There's a podcast for everything. So my point in all that is learn something. If you're going to do chores, learn something. If you're going to drive, learn something. Or energize yourself with things that are interesting to you. Always be listening. It's something, well, I guess you could only really do this in 2008 when all this stuff turned on. It was really tough to get CDs and tapes. You could do that, but it was tough to like listen to things. I've been listening to that self-help genre, the how to be a better husband, how to sell more, all that stuff, better business. Since I was, well, even before I graduated, Georgia Tech, the company I called for, MEAG Power, had a library of things you could check out. I think I was the only person ever checking them out, and it was really cool stuff. So I found Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, all those guys. Okay. Next thing is get sleep. I'm going to leave that there. We have a podcast. Get some sleep. I like this. She's got, it's kind of stupid. In the picture, she's got eye coverings on, but there's a light on in the background. I know, it's a picture, so they can't turn off all the lights, but make it dark. All right. So that is all of the things that I would be doing. Get better sleep. That's probably, it's probably one of the biggest ones that you need. I'm going to talk to you guys for a moment about the things happening in the gym so you know what's going on. Let's see here. So we've got several new people testing the waters about being a coach. So you'll see them doing some classes and trying it out, either shadowing or coaching. There's 2 of them that have actually had their CrossFit Level 2 certifications. So they're just dusting off the dust. They're dusting off the dust. That sounds weird. They're just removing the dust, and they're going to try some things out. So we're going to give them a shot and see how we do. I think there's like 4 of them, so it'll take some time, but they'll be coming down. You'll be seeing them. Of course, I'll be picking up most of the morning classes for a while. We do have some new members, so say hello. Say hello to Colby and Scott. We got a couple people trying out the gym. If you happen to see Michelle, Christy, Josiah, or Jennifer, say hi to them. And then let's see. I do have 24-hour open gym access available now. I finally got it all done. It took me a long time. I'm not sure why it took me that long, but it did. And insurance finally gave their, yes, you did it all, and you paid us the money, so you're good to go. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with anyone that's been in the gym for 3 years or more. If you want to try this open gym, let me know. We're going to go for 2 weeks to see what I've messed up and make sure it all works. And then once that's done, we'll open it up to anyone that's been at the gym a year or more, and then I'll keep moving it further back, okay? So the idea then is you have to fill out a new waiver, which is by the TVs, by the gym door, the coming into the gym room door, that glass door. Fill out that waiver that has the 24/7 wording in it, liability and all that stuff. And then I need to get you a code for the back door that has a Wi-Fi enabled or Bluetooth enabled and key code enabled lock. So you can pick 1, 2, 3, 4 as your password, and you'll getting in. So part of what insurance needed was a way to log who was coming into the gym. And the front door, I can't put a lock on because it's too thin. It's a glass door, and the metal frame is just too thin. It doesn't take a normal lock. And the locksmith said, hey, that'd be like $4,000 to get this done. I'm like, what? So Danny showed me a lock on Amazon that was like $200. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for $200 rather than $4,000. But it does mean you have to drive to the back and then come in the back door. Whatever, that's fine. And the other thing is don't do anything stupid and don't let anybody in that shouldn't be there. So they should have their own code, and they need to code in every time. There are cameras up. That was part of it. And so we can see it's being recorded as well, who's in there. So don't do anything stupid. Let's see. What else I want to tell you guys? Oh, yeah, and sad news. CrossFit Sweat Mountain. So I'm recording this on Monday the 30th. It should come out tomorrow on the 1st. So CrossFit Sweat Mountain is fighting their landlord as well, and they finally decided to throw in the towel. The landlord was jacking up the rent too much. Yay, we all know this. I've also heard from a couple members that have friends going to other gyms that they're struggling against landlords as well, and are probably shutting down also. So CrossFit Sweat Mountain is closing today. Monday is the last day that they'll be open. So when you listen to this today, Tuesday, they'll be shut down. So Todd and Mark possibly are dropping in to check us out. They've got members our way, so they may send some people this direction. I got to imagine there's probably only maybe like 10 or 15 people that are kind of close enough to us, because, I mean, we're close, but we're separated. CrossFit Sweat Mountain is past the movie tavern, so you got to go all the way down there. And 92 is kind of a hefty drive, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway, just be on the lookout. There should be some people popping in that know what they're doing, but we don't know them. October 14th is Bring a Friend. You just need a waiver, and let me know they're coming. That would be great, but it's free. Bring them in all week. December 2nd, we'll start the Alumni Week. And December 7th, we're doing a little Wodify meetup. If you're interested in ever owning a gym or understanding the back-end tools of gym owners, come do it. You help, be my helper, help me run it, and you'll learn a lot. I'm sure you will. There's going to be, right now, we're just shooting for a small group. So I was hoping for about 10 people. Right now, we're moving up towards the 20 neighborhood. I'll probably cap it there because I just don't have enough seating for all those people. We do have a shirt coming. Y'all send in some votes for what it should look like. So it's going to be one of those 3/4 sleeves. I just haven't put the link out yet because we were doing other stuff. It just slipped my mind. And then let's see, 24/7 October. Oh, I put a video up. I did not realize that you guys did not see this. So CrossFit Affiliate Programming puts an overview video out. So the October video came out, or is about to come out. I know where the link is. So I already posted it. So if you want to see what's coming, you can watch that and get an idea. So I posted it in Facebook because that's the only place I can go. If you're not on Facebook, I can't help you. Anyway, so we've got some heavy deadlifts, overhead squats, some power cleans and thrusters. And then, let's see, when we have a heavy day, use the entire time to lift. Even if you get to the last lift, you're like, I think that's it. Spend some time, go downward in the weight, practice your movement in the form. Use a heavy day as it's intended. It should be, that is the thing you do, okay? The next thing that I'm gonna change and see how this goes, I'm gonna leave the warm-up that CrossFit suggests in Wodify so our 5 a.m. coach can see it rather than having to go and struggle to find it. And I don't ever use the exact one that they say to use, but it's a good outline, and I usually end up changing it, but whatever. It's going to be an outline so you guys will be able to see kind of what they're suggesting. Yes, though, we won't be using that all the time. I did ask Wodify about, hey, I changed the verbiage, so RX Plus is now RX, and RX is now intermediate, but the icons we click in didn't change. And they're like, yeah, they're graphics. I said, what can we do about that? And they said, hold on. So they haven't said anything yet. I think the answer is nothing, so we'll go another week. Let me know what you guys think about having that on there. I'd like to be able to see how it compares and contrasts, but I don't know. It might be too confusing because if you do RX, you have to click RX Plus. I know. It's just I can't fix that part because I don't have access to their code. Okay, guys, I hope this is helping you live your better life. I hope this is helping you develop a better taste for food, to eat the right things. So you're getting the 3 things that, you know, the podcast really talks about: fitness, food, and finances. I know we don't cover finances all that often. If you're really interested in going deep in the finances, one-on-one is a little bit easier. But also, probably the biggest thing I could tell you is Vincent Financial is just down the street, and those guys are dedicated to helping you have the retirement you want. Now, they can't put money in your pockets. Well, I guess with the investments, technically, I suppose that's what's happening. You have to work, but if you have money to invest and you need somebody to help you, those guys are why would you not use these guys right here? They know what they're doing, and they're doing it ethically, and they already know, like, and trust us, and we know, like, and trust them. So go check them out. All right, guys, have a fun week. Take care.